This is Joseph Robinson, and welcome to Man's Trash, God's Treasure.
Welcome back to Man's Trash Guy's Treasure. As we all know, it is that time of year for Halloween, and I wanted to touch on a subject: fear. Fear exists as an emotion in our lives, and it can do one or two things. It can make you, or it can break you. Which one will you choose? See, there's a famous saying: a deer in headlights. The deer is scared, so the deer freezes. And when the deer freezes, he gets hit. We don't want to allow fear to stop us. We don't want to get hit by whatever is coming at us. In most of our cases, that's life. So what we want to do is we want to allow fear to propel us. Some people are afraid of new challenges. Some people are afraid of success. Some people are afraid of change. So, like the deer, they'll sit there. They'll freeze. They'll stop. They don't know what to do next. What do you do next? That's not what we're here for. Fear is a feeling that we all naturally have, that we all naturally experience. So how do you want to react to that? Do you want to react in a way that's going to cause things to remain the same? Are you going to react to it in a way that's going to cause you to just be stuck where you are? Or to go backwards, turn around and run back? Or are you going to allow fear to propel you forward? There's nothing wrong with fear at all. It's something we've all felt, something we've all experienced. But are you going to allow it to stop you from achieving what you're here to achieve? Are you going to allow it to stop you from serving your purpose? All throughout the Bible, there are examples of fear. There are examples of what to do when you're afraid and what not to do when you're afraid. Elijah was afraid. David was afraid. Joseph was afraid. Jonah, who we all know, was very afraid. People get afraid every day. Some people allow that fear to push them towards success or towards their purpose. Others sometimes allow that fear to push them away, to stop them from achieving. People are afraid of what someone's going to say, what someone's going to think. People are afraid of taking the next step. People are afraid of failure. I don't know if I'm going to get accepted to that school, so they don't apply. I don't know if I'm going to be good at this task, so they don't try. They don't approach an attractive person, so they're afraid. They don't approach a powerful person or someone who they feel is powerful because they're afraid. When sometimes what you need to do is do the opposite. Sometimes we're being tested. And you never know that step forward that you're so afraid of taking, that leap that you're afraid to make, could be one of the most important and most successful steps that you take in your life, or could lead you to an opportunity that could change your life. And a lot of times we get afraid. I've been afraid. Sure, I've been afraid. But what I've learned in life, in my career, in fatherhood, is that I got to take that next step no matter what. So being afraid is fine. Being afraid can be right there. The fear can be right there in the same room with me. It's fine. I don't ignore it. I acknowledge it. You got to know. It's your body telling you something. Hey, we've never done this before. What are we supposed to do? How do we accomplish this? What do we, you're anxious. What happens now? When you see that celebrity out in public, oh, what do I say? What do I do? You get nervous, and that is perfectly fine. But it's what you do next. Are you going to run from it? Are you going to freeze up, stay where you are, and miss the opportunity, let it pass you by? Or are you going to say, hey, I'm afraid, but you know what? I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to let them tell me no. I'm not going to tell myself no. I'm not going to let that opportunity go by. If it was meant for me, then it's meant for me. He's putting it there for a reason. God is putting these opportunities in front of you for a reason. You have to have faith. Faith conquers fear. It always will and it always does. But you got to believe that that's where they will come from. That faith you have, that fire. Use that. Now, you know what? I'm God's treasure. That's right. I'm God's treasure. I have nothing to be afraid of. If he didn't want it for me, he wouldn't have put it in front of me. If he didn't want me to do this, then his timing would not have been so perfect. So yes, I'll go apply for that job. Yes, I'll go apply for that school. Yes, I'll put my child in that program or this program. Yeah, I'll go take that test. Yeah, I'll make that change at work. Yeah, I'll go apply for that promotion. Or I'll go after a new job completely. Yeah, I'll do it. He puts these opportunities there for a reason. Do not let fear overcome the test of your faith. No one got to where they're supposed to be, to their purpose. No one got to be successful by letting fear stop them. There are tons of people who took that risk and came out very successful. Actors, athletes, writers, inspirational and motivational speakers, preachers. Many stories in the Bible. There's fear all around. That is why God warns against it. Do not fear. I'm here with you. There's nothing you have to fear. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. There's no reason to be afraid. He's right there with you. And you're built to do that task. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to say, when these things come up, when fear comes up, it's gonna look you right in the face. And I want you to stare right back at it and say, I see you, but I'm God's treasure. I'm God's treasure. And I want you to push it aside. Let it propel you to where you need to go. Be afraid of going backwards. Be afraid of staying exactly where you are and who you are. Be afraid of not growing. Be afraid of not changing for the better. Be afraid. Be afraid. Be very afraid. That's what you should be afraid of not being successful, of not fulfilling your purpose. Those are things you should really be afraid of. Be afraid of not pursuing excellence, not becoming smarter, not becoming stronger, not achieving your goals. Those are things to be very, very afraid of. But you won't let fear stop you because you have faith and you got the best backing there is, baby. That's right. If God wants it to happen, it will happen. It will happen. And if you fail, you'll learn. If you fail, you'll go forward and know what to do next time and the time after that. Let the fear of not fulfilling your purpose, let the fear of not pursuing greatness, let the fear of not being who you're supposed to be, let that propel you into that role. I want you to think about what would happen if you didn't reach it, if you didn't take that step. I want you to be afraid of if you do take the step. Now, I want you to think about what happens if I don't take this next step. Where will I be? Fear is okay. Take the step. Take the step. You can only become greater. So for that person out there who's being presented with any opportunity, who's being faced with the unknown, I want to tell you, take that step. Do it. You'll be glad you did. You really will. But before you do that, I want you to remind yourself who you are. Because you're God's treasure. You are God's treasure. Before you face that next challenge, before you take that next step, before you go into change something in your life, I want you to let that echo. And I want you to say it out loud. I'm God's treasure. Faith overcomes fear every time. So you have to have the faith. You have to have faith that you're God's treasure. And I'm here to tell you, you are. We'll see you next time.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, and make sure you hit that notification button so you can be notified about my new videos.